Hello. Now it's 1 minute past 3 a.m. It's midnight from Saturday to Sunday. I actually forgot to film myself yesterday on Friday. So I'll quickly wrap up today's. So on Friday, I spent most of the day watching and learning about tarot cards and learning about symbols in them. So on Friday, I spent the majority of my time watching YouTube videos about tarot cards. I was interested not so much on how to see my own future or someone else's future, but how they are made. I don't know why, but from a young age I'm interested in esoterics, and at my current stage I'm, researching symbolism and symbols. I think that esotericism and just symbolism and all that good stuff greatly determines the way this universe works. So it's interesting that tarot cards are made in cycles. Basically, there are 4 suits, like fire, earth, wind, and water. Earth is basically financial security, fire is inspiration, water is your deep subconscious emotions, and wind is like action, something like, more related to action, or just external word. So each suit, there is 12 cards of wind, 12 cards of earth, 12 cards of fire, and so on. And they start from 1 to 10, and then you have a prince, I guess, queen, king, and some other people at the top cards. On each card there is a picture, a symbolic picture that represents the card's meaning. And it's interesting that, from there's 1 or ace, then there's 2, and there's like a story through all. If you lay all those cards in a line, you can see a story. And it's just, for me it's interesting why, let's say 3 is this picture and 4 is this picture, why is this transition like this, and once you see the actual story, you see that it makes a lot of sense, and somehow, like the 2 of ear or swords, another name for ear suit, just makes a lot of sense that it should be like this. Like, this is the accurate picture, because the 2 just represents these 2 things. The 2 of fire also represents like exactly the thing that it represents. I mean, it's really hard to explain, but when I see it, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it should represent. So basically the 2 of fire, I think, represents, there's 2 lovers in there, and they basically, well, I cannot explain it in words, you have to see the picture. And the 2 of swords, there is like a girl which is basically has like swords like in X form, like one hand is this and the other hand is this, I think, and it represents like collusion and just tension, and the 2 of fire could represent love, could represent connection, could represent partnership, and many things depending on the context, but the word 2 always represents like these, you could say, symbolic things. Like the word 3 wouldn't represent love or wouldn't represent equal collusion. I wonder why is that? I think that there's something, each number has its own meaning, and the way we do numbers in math is just like, I think that we totally missed the point of numbers. I think that numbers have inner power, each number has inner meaning and inner power, and if you understand the meaning behind that number, then the math would be like the language of God or something like this. I think that our society, we're too, at least now, we're too egoistic and too deterministic, or what's the word? Now I sound really fancy. But we're basically too dumb to see beyond the simple, that 2 plus 2 is 4. So this is basically what I spent doing on Friday. I just watched a lot of tarot videos. And my whole day was quite weird. I went to sleep around 4 a.m. even though I really didn't work that much. I just spent my time randomly, and it's quite weird. And today I worked. I did some advertorials, some affiliate campaigns. I checked some numbers, what my bank account shows on the Christmas. I checked some numbers, if I'm still. I checked some numbers if I still have cash to run some holiday advertising campaigns promoting holiday items. So the only thing I actually remember that I learned is about not giving advice. Because if you do, you basically ruin other people. You ruin what people are good at naturally, because then they try to live up to your advice if they listen to your advice. Instead of giving advice, I mean, it's like the worst thing to give advice. So instead of that, you can just vocalize what you observe. Be curious about, how that person will decide to act. What kind of outcome will that person, receive? And you never say any advice. You never give advice. It's the worst thing that you can do. So instead, you, as I said, you just, if, let's say, for example, in parenting, real example, if like your kid is, spinning on some chair and it could, fall away and just smash his head into a wall or something like that. Instead of saying, "Hey, stop, you will die," or something, instead of advice, you say, hey Tom, it looks like you're spinning so fast that you can smash your head into the ground. But spin around and let's see what will happen." Something like that. The reason that advice doesn't work, because when you give advice, you make people run from what they are good at naturally. And it's the worst thing that you can do. So this is something that I want to practice more, because it was like really a revelation for me, and something that it's not my habit. So that's it for these 2 days, and I'll see you tomorrow.